Hello everyone, welcome once again. In the previous sessions you have seen that we have prepared a project charter, we understood customers' requirement, we put them into, we converted customer requirement into measurable requirements, and then we prioritized requirements, made a project charter with 6 key elements. In the project charter we had mentioned one thing, which is the project team members. Now, project team members we discussed in a nutshell when we were talking about from the project charter point of view. But then we must need to understand how to form a team, how to assign role and responsibility in a team when it comes to a project. Actually, in a project management scenario, I will say. So if you can see the screen on the slide, you will say that a typical formation of a project management in a Six Sigma project will always begin with a green belt or a black belt who would be leading the team. That is key thing to understand. And the leader who is leading the team should have had the Six Sigma training. So how it typically happens in the organization, people are first trained in the green belt, Six Sigma green belt or a black belt methodology. And then once they are done with the training program, they are assigned a project to work upon. So that's how they become a project leader. So, and once you have assigned a project to a green belt or a black belt who has just attended the training, a project must have a champion or a sponsor, you can say, or there should be a mentor. So if I have gone through the green belt training program and I am leading a project, I may require certain mentoring at different stages of this Six Sigma framework, because I've just understood some of the concepts. Some of the concepts are very heavy. I may not have the practical experience of working on all the concepts, so I would need mentoring from someone who is senior or who have done multiple projects. So I will need a senior, I will need a coach or a mentor, and I will need a sponsor who would help me go ahead in the project where I need a support if I need further resources, or if I need a resource on a project with me who can help me a couple of hours, or if I face any issue, that's where the sponsor will help me. So these are the two key parts of every project team. And then we also must have an SME who we discuss in the project charter also. And SME is someone who understands the process in and out, who will help you to gather the data, understand complex things about the process, while a Six Sigma person will always look at the process from the Six Sigma lenses, the issues, the continuous flow and all that thing. And so SME and Six Sigma person will form the best team, and that's how they will carry out the activities. And again, an important thing about a typical Six Sigma project, now yellow belt and green belt projects are not very complex. They can have 2 to 4 member team, but a black belt project which are very complex in nature, where we need a bigger team. The team is typically of cross-functional nature, wherein we have people from different domains and functions, and they work together. Because a Six Sigma black belt project or let's say a green belt project also, which is very complex in nature, can run through various geographies, various function domains. So we need representation from all teams and geographies, and this is supposed to be a cross-functional team then. So we have to keep these things in mind while we are forming a project team. And if you look at the screen, if I have to just summarize it, a project team talks about a black belt is supposed to be on the project team working with the black belt should be small, 4 to 5, 6 members. Larger team coordination is difficult, and black belt educates team members to ensure awareness, and should definitely have green belts. And one key part here which talks about the team should devote at least 25% of their time to a project. So which time I'm talking? Typically people are supposed to work 40 hours in a week, and out of that 40 hours they should be able to devote at least 10 hours in a project they are working. Now if those 10 hours are not able, if they are not able to devote those 10 hours, that's when the problems start coming in. So a project which is supposed to run 2 to 4 months can easily be extended up to 5 months, 6 months, sometimes 8 months, because as I said in one of these sessions, that operations always takes the front seat, and Six Sigma team, which is the enabler of process improvement, takes the back seat, and that's when the problems start coming in, and the project keeps on getting extended, and they reach to a point where project actually become irrelevant, and any changes or any improvement may not be required by then, and we have lost the relevance. So that should not happen, and for that we need to ensure that all the team members should be able to devote at least 25% of their time. Now that's how we are forming the team. But then when it comes to assigning the roles and responsibility of each team member in the team, We then talk about a model called as Racy Model, which you can see on the screen. While Racy Model, we'll talk about it. Racy stands for Responsibility, Accountability, Consultation and Inform, which is an acronym for these 4 words, which we call as Racy here. It's a very commonly used and widely used method across the industries and companies for any project, irrespective of Six Sigma project or whatever project. All the companies use Racy Model primarily to assign who will work on which part and what is going to be their role on a specific activity. And in the entire DMAC, in the entire define, measure, analyze, improve, control phases, what is going to be role of each person? It's not going to be that all the 4 to 5 people in a team will work simultaneously in the same capacity on each activity. That's not possible. That should not happen. So all the 5 people will have different roles at different stages of the project. So what are those different stages? What are those different roles? That's what we are going to understand from the Racy model. So if you see in this slide, it talks about responsibility, accountability, consultation and inform, which is the full form of Racy. And we have certain activities written as define, measure, analyze, improve and control. So let's say define is the first phase of the entire DMAC cycle. In the define phase, so we have written A, resource 1, resource 2, resource 3. Resource 1 is A, which means resource 1 is accountable for the define phase deliverable. Resource 2 is R, responsible for the responsible for the entire activities happening in the define phase. Now what is the difference between responsible and accountable here? Accountable is someone who is answerable, someone who will speak on behalf of the team, someone who will take accountability or who will be held answerable for any success or any failure. This person needs to be in front, who needs to lead it. But someone who is responsible is the one who is the doer, who will do the job, who will make the hands dirty, who will actually get down to the things. It's called the responsible. The responsible are the doers, accountable are supposed to be leading that initiative. And then resource 3, which is the I here, I inform. Not everyone has to do the job, has to be accountable. Some people are key stakeholders, they need to be informed about what we are doing in that project. So resource 3 will be informed about all the deliverables of the define phase, while resource 4 that you see on the screen will be consulted. Now consulted can be any senior stakeholder who you think can help you, or it can be a black belt who you think can help you while you are working on Six Sigma methodologies. So each one has a different role to play in this entire project and entire phase. Now resource 1 cannot be in a role of consultant or inform, because resource 1 is going to work on the project, resource 2 is also going to work on the project. So resource 3 is supposed to be consultant. Resource 3 may be a senior business leader who is working on many projects. People come and inform him, this is what we have done. It's like updating someone what you have done or what you have been doing. And fourth is consulted, key people who have a lot of knowledge. Sometimes you can go and check like what should be our approach, what should we do, is this the right thing, are we on the right track, are we on the right path? So that's how you would like to check with people, and these people are the these people are in the role of consultation. So that's how these 4 roles, responsibility, accountability, consultation and inform. But there are key 2 rules that we must remember about a Racy model. However, it might sound simple, but sometimes we do mistake, some very basic mistake we do which can prove to be very fatal. First mistake is each activity in the entire framework should have at least one accountable. Now sometimes we prepare Racy and they forget to put any person accountable. Now it's like 11 players playing in a team and nobody is a captain. So without a captain, team will be headless. Who will take a decision? On whose shoulder team would fall back to if they face any issue? So there has to be at least one accountable. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is there should not be any activity for which we have more than 2 accountable or 3 accountable. Typically we should not have more than 1 accountable, but sometimes 2 is fine because we may need 2 approvers at times. But then if we have more than 2 accountable, the problem arises that everyone is trying to be a leader, everyone is trying to be leading the team. If you imagine a cricket team which has 11 captains playing, all 11 captains taking the decision at the same time, everyone is taking the responsibility and holding other responsible, that's when the problems start becoming in. So too many cooks spoil the broth. That's a very common saying. Similarly, in the Racy, we should have at least one accountable, and we should not have more than two accountable in a given scenario. If the project is very complex, we may have exceptions, but it's still, there will not be 2 or 3 or 4 accountable most probably, but that is also a very big number I'm quoting here. It should not be more than that. So that is about the Racy model, how we assign the role and responsibility. That is also about how to form a team, what should be the team size, who all should be in a team, what should be the roles and responsibility. In the later sessions, we'll talk about how to form a communication plan, how to do a stakeholder analysis. Thank you once again. This is Shivendra Sharma.